them all the time.
Ooh,
it gets on my nerves.
So everybody just heard everything Martel said.
No,
Me and
because
Martel said I'm playing the victim.
I wish one day people will see the person that you really are.
You ever get that moment where someone's past comes roaring back around, knocking at their door in the worst way possible, where the very choices they thought they buried finally rise up and demand a reckoning? That's exactly what unfolded for Martel Holt at 42. What began as whispers and secrets became a storm, and the person who stood in the quiet, waiting for justice, Melody Shari, she didn't just survive. She won. From the outside, they looked like the power couple of love and marriage. Huntsville, charismatic, strong, polished, but behind the lights and cameras, cracks were forming, and when those cracks turned into chasms, the fall was brutal. Today, I'm going to take you inside this heartbreaking, messy, dramatic story. How betrayal, control, unanswered calls, and hidden threats finally broke open. How one woman's courage shook the narrative and forced the truth into the light. And how the man who once controlled the room is now facing a reality he never saw coming. So stay with me, because by the end, you're going to see.
Back trailing to this other woman, because that's embarrassing for a woman. Cheating, it's not right.
No, it's not.
You're not
Period.
supposed to do it, period.
No, you're not.
But it's how they do it. And the thing for me is disrespect for cheating. You keep making a laughingstock out of her. That's a lot to take for a woman, and a woman of her caliber.
Sometimes the universe finds a way, and sometimes karma arrives on your doorstep when you least expect it. Let me take you back. Martel Holt was never just a reality star. He built his identity from the ground up. The charismatic entrepreneur, the devoted father, the loving husband. He had a presence that drew people in. He could charm a room, command attention, make promises on love and marriage. Huntsville, viewers watched him build businesses, talk vision, make deals. But behind that confident smile, there were wounds, insecurities.
I'm tired of hearing you saying that. Know that. I'm tired of hearing you say that. Because it was the truth. You would have been gone and asked for a divorce a long time ago. So don't sit here and act like that's the truth.
Hidden battles. Melody Shari, also known as Melody Rogers, entered his life with hope and heart. She saw in him strength, partnership, shared dreams. At first, their union seemed like the fairy tale viewers craved, the power couple navigating life together in the public eye. They had children, they had ambitions, they had a narrative that people wanted to believe in. Together, they held hands through business deals, family drama, highs and lows. But life off camera is rarely as clean as it looks on screen. Over time, cracks began to form. The kind of cracks you try to ignore: arguments over control, disagreements about boundaries, fights about respect. Whispers started. Was Martel too controlling? Was he hiding things? People close to them began to hear late-night phone calls, uneasy silences, things unspoken. Fans speculated when he seemed colder, when she seemed distant. Attention hung in the air. The worst part is this: when conflict starts to feel normal.
I'm tired of hearing you saying that. Know that. I'm tired of hearing you say that. Because it was the truth. You would have been gone and asked for a divorce a long time ago. So don't sit here and act like that's the truth.
When small betrayals were down trust. When one person begins to quietly bear the weight of silence while the other maintains the public facade. Melody, someone with patience, with love invested, she was absorbing more than people saw. She was refusing to let her voice be silenced. Then came allegations, quiet at first. Rumors that he had threatened her, that he had manipulated messages, that some things were being kept secret. But by then, the foundation was already shaken. And in the world of reality TV, it only takes one spark to turn whispers into an inferno. I want you to imagine this: a private text, sent late at night, a screenshot, a threat, "Stop messing with me." And that screenshot, pulled from a video they once made in private, a video he recorded while married. What nobody expected was that he would use it to scare her into silence. What nobody expected was how raw and vicious that move would be. You see, more than an affair, more than emotional distance, this was about control. It was about putting her in a position where she had to choose between fighting publicly or living under threat. A former associate in his inner circle allegedly exposed a plot. Martel's paramour, the side relationship, was to be used in a scheme to leverage that video, to manipulate, to humiliate. The goal, to silence Melody forever. By the time Melody obtained a warrant and went to court, the shockwaves were already hitting. The allegations became official. Martel was arrested. The court charged him with domestic violence and harassing communications. He was convicted on May 2nd, given a 30-day suspended sentence, 12 months of supervised probation, fines, and a strict no-contact order prohibiting him from reaching out to her. Urban Magazine. The drama didn't stop there. Martel appealed the ruling, attempting to reverse the decision. While the custody battle raged on, Urban Magazine, even the appeal process, became part of the spectacle. How do you fight a ruling when evidence is stacked, when the pattern has been documented? He was also required to submit to psychological evaluation as part of the custody dispute. The court considered not just his behavior toward Melody, but what he might put the children through. Urban Magazine. What made this more intense is how public it all became. Clips from their show aired conversations. Producers showed snippets of text. Whispers became headlines. Viewers saw a side of Martel that clashed with his polished image, a man unwilling to admit fault. Reactive, furious. His tone shifted when he was challenged. He lashed out, he blamed. He refused to see that his narrative was cracking. Behind closed doors, Melody was lining up evidence. The texts, the messages, testimonies, screenshots, associates willing to speak, people who knew the truth. She was building a case not just in a courtroom but in hearts and minds. Many thought Martel's charm would carry him, that his reputation and on-screen persona would shield him. But the truth, once exposed, doesn't hide. One by one, details emerged. The threats, the intimidation, the attempts to silence her with fear. One witness claimed he threatened to release the video publicly if she didn't comply. Urban Magazine. What nobody expected was how firm Melody's resolve would be. She stood up. She asked for accountability. She asked for safety. She asked for justice, not just for herself, but for her children. She refused to be gaslit, refused to live under fear. In the courtroom, the drama got heavier. Martel filed counterclaims accusing Melody of neglect, of being unfit to parent, but they lacked evidence. The court saw that the allegations were reactive, defensive, empty. Melody's legal team countered with hard proof: the messages, the behaviors, the threats. The court refused to entertain baseless claims. The judge dismissed many counter-allegations. Urban Magazine. Then came custody rulings. The judge favored Melody, placing weight on her consistent evidence and the documented pattern of behavior from Martel. Conditions were imposed: counseling, psychological evaluations, things meant to protect the children, ensure stability, and address risky behavior. Urban Magazine. Martel didn't give up, but every attempt to turn the tide seemed only to push him deeper into chaos. Fans vocally turned on him. Public sentiment shifted. The hashtag Team Melody began to trend. Urban Magazine. In the eyes of many, the man who once painted himself as the hero was now cast as the villain in his own story. What did this all do to Melody? It changed everything. It cracked her open but also allowed her to rebuild. Emotionally, she bore the weight of betrayal, the anxiety of threats, the pain of finding out love can twist into control. She had to protect her children, protect her peace, and use every ounce of her strength to go head-to-head in court. She couldn't rely on charm, on public favor alone. She needed legal grounding, uncheckable evidence, and a steadfast faith that the truth would stand. For Martel, the toll was immense too. His reputation took hits. His image, once finely tuned, was exposed as fragile. Supporters began to question him. The show he once commanded with presence now featured him in a darker, more uncertain light. People asked, can someone recover from this? Can a man who tried to silence his partner truly redeem himself? The children caught in the crossfire imagined their heads spinning, watching their home life unravel, watching their parents fight not just over love, but over trauma, threats, history. their lives will carry the echoes of those struggles forever. Family relationships, siblings, parents, mutual friends, many chose sides. Bridges burned, some walked away, some held vigil in secret. Melody's support network grew smaller in public, but deeper in loyalty. People rallied behind her, others criticized her, but she held tight to her truth. Career-wise, she faced uphill battles, the challenge of stepping out from under the shadow of scandal, proving that she isn't just a victim or a name in headlines, but a person with dreams beyond the fight. She has to re-establish her narrative on her own terms. That's no easy path, but she's walking it. And for Martel, consequences have weight. The court orders, the no-contact rulings, the probation, the public scorn, they're not just punishments, they're markers. Markers that say your actions matter. That even if you're a celebrity, even if you think your charm can override rights, the law and accountability can reach you. Through it all, what stands out is Melody's resilience. She didn't crumble. She didn't cave. She made difficult choices. She stood in the face of intimidation. She turned pain into purpose. I want you to feel this with me. Betrayal so deep it feels like it reshapes your very self. The grief of realizing someone you trusted became your greatest threat. The fear of being exposed. The questioning, who is she when stripped of facade? And yet, also the quiet strength of a woman who says, no more. The shock when the powerful fall. The relief when justice, even if imperfect, leans toward the wounded. What remains is a lesson. Power is fragile when built on lies. Control is dangerous when wielded against love. And the one who finally speaks truth and refuses silence often absorbs the pain, but also becomes the victor in their own story. So here we are. Karma hit Martel Holt hard. At an age where many assume legacy is secure, yet his is shaken. Melody Shari wins, not just in court, but in reclaiming her voice, her safety, her children, her future. As viewers and witnesses, we must ask, who do we root for in the end? The one who sought to silence, or the one brave enough to demand to be heard? The one who built their reputation, or the one whose life was almost erased by it? She showed us that dignity in silence, that winning doesn't mean destroying, but preserving truth. That scars can be reminders of survival, not shame. That even when the world is watching, real battles are fought in the small rooms, in attorneys' offices, in tears, in vulnerability. So tell me, after all of this, do you believe Martel can rebuild? Can he own what he's done and change? Or is his downfall the measure of what happens when power meets deception? And for Melody, what comes next when justice has been served, but life must move on? If this story affected you, if it challenged how you see betrayal and redemption, share it. Comment your thoughts. Dive deeper. Because this story, in just theirs, it's ours. Whenever someone misuses power, hides behind charm, and thinks lies can last forever, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and stay close. There's always more to uncover, more truths to tell, more lives caught in the tangled dance between love, control, and retribution. Stay tuned.